The distress beacon had been broadcasting for 6 hours before Commander Vaylor's ship broke atmosphere. 6 hours. The beacon of a Velthary enclosure, a reinforced, triple-layered containment dome housing one of the most dangerous creatures in the known galaxy. 6 hours of silence from the 12-member research staff stationed at the Kuros 4 Wildlife Preservation Outpost. Vaylor stood at the bridge viewport, jaw tight, claws folded behind his back. His species, the Dreven, had catalogued over 4,000 Predator-class lifeforms across 47 star systems. In his 30 years commanding beast recovery operations, he had never lost a containment. Not once. Today felt different. "Confirmed, Commander," said Lieutenant Thresh from the sensor console. "Enclosure 7 is fully breached. The Sovereign is no longer on compound grounds." The Sovereign. That was what the researchers had taken to calling it, a Velthary apex, the singular most feared ambush predator in the Outer Rim. 800 kilograms of layered muscle and chitin bone. Sensory perception extending 40 meters in every direction. Capable of shredding reinforced alloy plating with its secondary limbs. No natural predators. No behavioral ceiling on its aggression when threatened. And it was loose somewhere on Kuros 4. Casualties? Vaylor asked. None confirmed. Thresh paused. Though communications from the outpost are irregular. Irregular how? There is one active transponder. A human. Groundskeeper designation, Noah Mercer. Vaylor turned slowly. A groundskeeper. Yes, sir. A maintenance and habitat worker. He has been transmitting on a low-frequency channel, but the content is the Thresh made an uncertain sound, the Dreven equivalent of a shrug. Difficult to categorize. Play it. A voice filled the bridge. Male, human, low and unhurried, the kind of voice that belonged to someone who spent long hours alone and had made peace with silence. Yeah, she's been out here with me for about 3 hours now. Don't send anyone loud. Seriously. She just finally settled down, and if you spook her, we're back to square one. I've got the situation handled. Just give me some time. A long pause followed on the recording. Then, quieter, easy, girl. Easy. Nobody's gonna bother you. Vaylor stared at the speaker grill for a moment that stretched. Then he said, arm the recovery team. Non-lethal loadout only. And somebody tell me everything there is to know about Noah Mercer. The file was thin. 31 years old. No military record. No xenobiology credentials. He had worked outpost groundskeeping contracts for 8 years across 3 systems: habitat maintenance, vegetation management, basic enclosure upkeep. His performance reviews used words like reliable, unobtrusive, works well without supervision. One supervisor had written, Mercer has an unusual rapport with the larger animals. I don't fully understand it, but I've stopped questioning it. Vaylor read that line twice. The recovery team moved through dense lowland forest in a wide sweep pattern, 6 Dreven soldiers carrying pulse-net launchers and sedation rigs capable of dropping a creature 3 times the Sovereign's mass. Vaylor moved with them, his own sidearm holstered. He had given strict orders, observe first. No engagement without his direct command. The forest was wrong. That was the only way Vaylor could describe it. Every prey species within sensor range had gone utterly still. Not fled, still. Like the entire ecosystem was holding its breath around a single, epicentral point of terrible gravity. They found the clearing 40 meters past a collapsed section of enclosure fencing. Vaylor stopped. His soldiers stopped. 3 of them lowered their weapons without being ordered to, some ancient instinct overriding their training. The Sovereign lay in the grass. She was enormous, even knowing the figures, even having seen the containment footage, Vaylor was not prepared for the reality of her. She occupied the clearing like a geological feature, a ridge of dark chitin and slow-moving flanks. Her primary eyes were half-lidded. Her secondary limbs, the shearing ones, the ones that had dismembered the containment barrier, were folded loosely against her body. And pressed against her side, half buried beneath one massive, leathery foreleg that had been draped across him like an arm, was a human. Noah Mercer was sitting with his back against the Sovereign's ribcage, one hand resting on her shoulder plating, moving in slow, steady circles. His eyes were open and calm. He was not frozen with fear. He was not playing dead. He was simply sitting there, in the shadow of the most dangerous creature in 47 star systems, looking like a man who had found a comfortable place to rest. The Sovereign's respiration was deep and even. She was asleep. Vaylor became aware that he had stopped breathing. He restarted, carefully. Mercer's eyes found the recovery team. He raised one finger to his lips. Vaylor, commander of the 7th Beast Recovery Division, holder of the Dreven Star of Service, veteran of over 200 containment operations, obeyed a human groundskeeper's gesture and remained perfectly, completely silent. They watched for another 10 minutes. The Sovereign did not move. Her breathing did not change. Finally, with the slow, deliberate care of someone defusing an explosive, Mercer shifted. He lifted the Sovereign's foreleg, 60 kilograms of bone and chitin, and set it gently in the grass. Then he stood, brushed off his work jacket, and walked toward the tree line where Vaylor's team waited. He stopped a few meters away and spoke at barely above a whisper. She got spooked by the enclosure alarm. Went through the east wall, didn't mean to, I think, she just panicked. He glanced back at the sleeping creature. She's not aggressive. She was scared. Vaylor looked at the man. Then at the Sovereign. Then back at the man. You sat down next to her. She was hyperventilating. Mercer said it like it was obvious. You don't chase a scared animal. You get low, stay quiet, and let it figure out you're not a threat. He paused. Took about 40 minutes. Once she settled, she just leaned on me. She leaned on you, Vaylor repeated. She's been in that enclosure for 2 years. I think she was lonely. Mercer scratched the back of his neck. I visit the habitats a lot. Do maintenance, check the vegetation growth, fix the water features. She got used to me being around. One of Vaylor's soldiers made a sound that, in any language, translated to I am quietly reconsidering everything I know about the universe. We'll need to relocate her, Vaylor said, keeping his voice low. The enclosure will need 48 hours of repairs minimum. I'd like your assistance with the transfer. Mercer nodded. Yeah, I figured. I can lead her to the secondary habitat, she knows me, she'll follow. He looked at the recovery team's equipment. You won't need any of that. Just don't make sudden movements and don't make direct eye contact until she's had a chance to read you. Vaylor studied the groundskeeper for a long moment. The man had no armor. No weapons. No specialized training. He had walked up to an escaped apex predator and sat down with it until it fell asleep on his shoulder, and he spoke about the experience with the same mild practicality he might use to describe unclogging a drainage pipe. Mercer, Vaylor said carefully. Are you aware of what the Sovereign is classified as? 812 kilogram ambush predator, Category 9 threat designation, capable of penetrating standard-grade hull plating. Mercer glanced back at the sleeping creature with something that looked, unmistakably, like fond exasperation. Yeah. She also hates the sound of the enclosure filtration pumps and gets nervous when the maintenance lights flicker. I put in a work order 3 months ago to fix the flicker. Nobody actioned it. His expression was dry. That's probably why she broke out. There was a long silence among the recovery team. Lieutenant Thresh leaned close to Vaylor and murmured in their native tongue, Commander. I have reviewed 412 records of Sovereign-class Velthary encounters across 11 star systems. The standard casualty rate for uncontrolled release events is? I know the casualty rate, Vaylor said. The human sat down with her. I know, Thresh. He told her she was going to be fine. Valor closed his eyes briefly. I know. When he opened them, Mercer was walking back toward the Sovereign. He crouched a few meters away, waited. The enormous creature stirred, raised her head, oriented all 6 of her primary eyes toward him. A low, resonant sound rolled through the ground beneath their feet. Mercer said something soft. Too low to hear. The Sovereign exhaled, a gust of hot breath that bent the grass flat, and slowly, with enormous dignity, rose to her feet. She followed him toward the secondary habitat like a creature who had simply decided, in her vast and ancient and terrible intelligence, that this particular human was acceptable company. Valor watched them go. He would file the incident report, of course. He would note the breach, the timeline, the recovery method. He would write, in the appropriate field, containment resolved through non-standard intervention by outpost personnel. He would not write what he was actually thinking, which was, in 30 years, I have never seen anything like this. The creature was not subdued. It was not tranquilized. It was not netted or cornered or driven. It was simply befriended by a maintenance worker from a small world at the edge of known space, who brought no weapons and asked nothing of the universe except that it hold still and be patient. He would not write that. But he would remember it. Lieutenant Thresh appeared at his shoulder. The humans are strange, Commander. Valor watched Noah Mercer disappear into the tree line, the galaxy's most dangerous predator walking calmly at his side. Yes, he said quietly. Remarkably so.